All right, people, quick video on last night's game from the association. Heat versus Bulls, and then Mavericks versus Kings. And the victors moving within the bracket will be the Miami Heat and the Dallas Mavericks. They both win in pretty convincing fashion. The Heat won 109-90, beating the Bulls, and the Mavericks beat the Kings 120-106. Kind of starting with the Bulls. I don't know. The Bulls kind of a letdown. I thought they were going to win this game, but the Miami Heat are pretty tough, well-coached team. They have decent players. I think, you're just looking at, the matchups. Tyler Hero was a problem. Absolutely was a problem. He dropped 38 points. The Bulls didn't really have an answer. Andrew Wiggins, 20 points. Bam, 15 points, 12 boards. And off the bench, Davion Mitchell was fantastic. He played very, very well. And then for the Bulls, you just didn't get that much, right? A little bit from Josh Giddey, right? He had a decent game. 25 points, 10 boards, 4 assists, and 40 minutes of action. But Kobe White didn't give you enough. I mean, not a bad night. He did score 17 points. Vucevic got you 16 and 12, and then Kevin Huerter got 10 points. It's just not enough to beat a team like the Heat, who are going to be, coached to win, and compete in the playoffs. That's just who they are. I know they don't have a star anymore. Maybe if you consider Bam and Hero stars, I don't know. Maybe. I don't think so. But yeah, the game was just kind of lopsided in my opinion. As I was watching it, the Bulls were behind for most of the game, and that didn't really change. The Bulls shot poorly. That impacted the game quite a bit. And then rebounding-wise, the Heat were better. Defensively, the Heat were better. The turnovers, they were slightly better. They had the edge in basically every metric of the game. They just played and executed better, in my opinion. And then looking at the other game, in terms of the Dallas Mavericks, they won their game 120-106, beating the Kings. I thought this was how it was going to play out. The combination of P.J. Washington, Anthony Davis, and Klay Thompson, too much for the Sacramento Kings, who aren't a bad team. Not disrespect to them, but Anthony Davis is one of the best two-way players in the league. Even coming off the injury, even at his advanced age or whatever you could say, P.J. Washington 17-9, Anthony Davis 27-9, Klay Thompson 23-5-2. Good games from them, and then Brandon Williams off the bench, Dante Exum off the bench, got you some scoring and some spot duty. But of course, you look at the game, and I mean, hell, the Mavericks scored 44 points in the second quarter, and I don't think the Kings could ever really come back from that. The Kings didn't necessarily shoot the ball that well. I think from the three, they were 13 of 33. The Mavs shot 50% from three. But I think where the Mavs were just better is they took care of the ball. They had 9 turnovers to the Kings, 18 turnovers. You're not going to win games in the playoffs or even in a play-in turning over the ball that much. And shout out to the Mavericks defense for forcing those errors. Anyways, now we kind of know what's coming down the pipeline. Now we know what the next set of games is going to be as we kind of monitor the play-in tournament. Heat versus Hawks, that's tomorrow at 7 p.m. And then Mavericks versus Grizzlies tomorrow at 9:30 p.m. Let me know what you guys think of those matchups. Let me know what you guys think of those games. Who's going to make it to the playoffs, or I should say into the playoffs in this format. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, check out some more videos. We'll see you guys on the next one.